What's going on, guys? It's Sam here, back with another banger video. Today I wanted to just kind of talk about something that's been very personal in my life, and that is laziness and the effects it has on people. Now, growing up, I always had to do a lot of chores. I didn't live on a farm, but I lived very close to a large garden space that my grandpa owned that me and my family worked. So we have, and we still have it, we have like I want to say like a quarter of an acre of farmland. It's a garden, really. There's a ton of tomatoes, green beans, squash, potatoes, all of that. We're just starting to get all the fruit from that. Maybe I'll send some pictures in on one of my posts or in one of these videos or something if you guys are curious, but it's a big garden and it takes a lot of work. And so always growing up, especially during the summertime, my dad would get me and, my four siblings, and we'd go out and we would just work for hours and hours. And one might think that all of that work turned me into a hard worker, or someone who loves to work, or someone who's okay with work. Someone who's really good at just getting everything done. And while I would say I'm a better worker than some, I don't consider myself like a hard worker. And in fact, I've had stretches in my life where I've really struggled with like laziness, like this deep-seated just desire to do nothing, to just be done, to not do anything in the day, to just play video games, to just eat, sleep, go to the bathroom, take a shower, play video games on rinse repeat every single day. And I used to have no ambition, no initiative to get things done. I used to like just kind of breeze through school, and like I would still get B's and stuff because I would consider myself fairly smart. I would always get like B's, and I wouldn't hardly do any like actual work. I wouldn't do any studying. I'd just kind of go through the motions. I would submit all my papers very last minute, all of that. And, instead of working hard, I would literally, again, I would just sit there. That's all I did all day long, except, the summertime. I would just sit there for hours and hours, watching brain rot cartoons and whatever else you may have, average childhood stuff. And that really stuck with me up until I was like 16. Like, I was just so lazy. That's part of what I attribute to getting fat, is my laziness, because I was too lazy to go to the gym, and I was too lazy to eat healthy. So I just ended up gaining a bunch of weight because I was lazy, and I'm still kind of lazy. I have been getting into the gym. I have been on like a kind of a semi diet, and I've lost some weight, and I feel better. This YouTube side hustle, I've been working my butt off for a couple of these videos you guys are going to see soon. Editing, learning how to make thumbnails, learning how to sound more professional. I've been streaming, and I really think this social media is a very good outlet for my creativity, because other than that, it's basically just like writing and reading and drawing. That's, the other art forms. But I consider YouTube an art form, and it's been very good to get one of those to help with my laziness. But the moral of the story here, guys, is just laziness never ends well. People don't respect you if you're lazy. If you're one of those employees who clocks in 5 minutes late, who leaves 5 minutes early, your boss is never going to respect you. Your boss is never going to give you that raise that you want, even if you do the work itself really well. If you're lazy with when you come in, when you get up, when you leave, that's going to leave an impression on people. The same thing can be said for doing other things. If you're so lazy you can't hardly make it to any family gatherings, you're going to kind of develop a reputation for yourself as kind of the dude who can never be trusted to be on time. You know what I'm saying? And really, that's just been, again, it's just been this like thing very present in my life. I don't like to go places. I'm a big social recluse. For as much as I talk on camera and as much as I stream, in real life, person to person, I'm pretty quiet, pretty standoffish, pretty kept to myself, unless I'm around like my closest friends, of course. But like, I don't love to go out, but I've forced myself to go out. I've forced myself to be in social situations, not only just for an environment change, but just to kind of stave away the laziness. Like, just keep it a little bit away from me so I don't fall into that pit again. So I don't start binge eating, so I don't just start literally sitting there all day long. And that's been a very interesting, very unique, very cool thing to do is force myself into social positions. I don't like it. I'm still not talking a whole lot, but I'm changing it up to, keep myself from getting lazy. Um, and again, back to the more like societal thing, no one respects a lazy person. No one does. You know, I don't think streamers are very hardworking people. I don't think the type of craft that they do for their money is very difficult to make. You literally sit in a chair, you play video games, or you watch something, or you talk to the camera, and people reward you for being funny, for being entertaining, for being smart, for whatever makes you unique. They watch you and they give you money and subscriptions, and that's how you pay the rent. And again, I don't think that's super difficult work, but I think it still takes effort. If you're a lazy streamer who is not engaging with the chat, who is not asking the chat questions, who is not networking, who is not doing collabs, you're gonna stave away. People are gonna just kind of think of you as a lazy person, as a not engaging or fun person. I know so many people, and I've seen so many streamers who, they want to make it big. They want to get into like the big leagues and get like 1,000 concurrent viewers on Twitch or YouTube or whatever. They want to make YouTube videos. They get so many views. But at the end of the day, they're unengaged. They're not putting the effort in. They're not responding to people. They're not being energetic. They're just kind of lazily sitting there playing video games, silent with like the type of face, They don't give any of that. That's something I've really strove to do in my own streams, is like always maintain some form of energy, within reason, right? I'm not screaming at the top of my lungs trying to clip farm, but I'm also not just like sitting there like the entire time. It's a mix, and I'm putting in effort, and I've gotten a couple people who have seemed to notice because they check into my streams. I'm getting a few views per stream, which is kind of abnormal for starting, right? In the same way, YouTubers, you can tell when a YouTuber is lazy or when they're getting lazy. Watch Mojo, that humongous, like, mega type of corporation of a YouTube channel that make reviews and rankings of everything. They have fallen off a cliff because their editing and their narration and everything has gotten so obscure and so outdated and lazy that people stopped watching. Despite how big they are, despite how many people you'd think would watch their videos, they're just not, because Watch Mojo is lazy. And I say all of this not trying to come from this place of higher power. I think when I make these videos, it's very easy to come across as someone who just thinks that they're better, right? I put effort into my content, but my content doesn't take a whole lot of skill to do, right? Like, I still acknowledge to you guys, like, this is not a super difficult thing for me to do. It takes a lot of effort. It takes being on time. It takes, actually putting in the hours to make good content. But at the same time, you're just sitting in a chair typing away or playing and talking to people. It's not that difficult. Go talk to a blue collar worker, go talk to a concrete guy, go talk to a masonry person, even like an electrician. They're gonna beat you into the ground with how lazy they think you are because you're just sitting in a chair, you know? And it's just kind of this message here for you guys that laziness is not okay. It's not okay to be lazy, and people are going to notice. Being lazy is scary. It scares me. It should scare you guys too, because if you guys are lazy throughout your life, if you're lazy with your body, you're going to get fat, or you're going to get super skinny again. You're not going to have muscle. You're not going to look good. If you don't put in effort to buy and wear nice clothes, you're going to look kind of like a bum. If you don't put in effort in your job, you're not going to get promotions. You're not going to get opportunities. You're going to stay poor, right? If you don't put in effort in school, you're either going to flunk out, you're going to drop out, or you're going to, barely pass, and you're not going to get any scholarships, right? If you don't put an effort into relationships and you're lazy, you're not going to get a girlfriend, or you're not going to keep one. Like, it's just simple facts, right? And I know that's hard for a lot of people to hear, and they're going to come up with excuses. So many people are just going to come up with excuses about, oh, I try. Trying and doing are two separate things. If you're just trying, I guess, like, oh, I'm kind of trying to look good. No, you need to do it. You need to every day look your best, smell your best, feel your best, right? Laziness is so incredibly scary, and no one really talks about it. At least I haven't found many YouTube videos who have talked about laziness a whole lot, but it's literally like one of the seven deadly sins is slothfulness, and that's for a reason. It destroys you, it destroys your relationships, your friendships, your work, your body. Laziness is just not good. It is evil It is against what you should be doing. You should be spending your time working hard at some level. Now, there's rest, right? I'm not urging you guys to work 7 days a week as a concrete constructor, but like, there has to be some leeway there. You have to put in a lot of work. You have to be hard on yourself to work hard. Don't just, cruise through life on easy mode, sitting on the couch, drinking soda and beer, and, eating chips and getting fast food every day. Or you're gonna balloon in weight, you're gonna look awful. And I don't want to recycle my thoughts here as the video comes to end, but that's the truth. You guys need to watch yourselves. You need to be careful and vigilant. Laziness scares me, and it should scare you. All right? Please listen to what I'm saying. All right? Thank you guys again for all of the support. You guys have been like literally crazy. And expect another YouTube video tonight, and a stream. So, with all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Leave comments down below what we should do for a 500 subscriber special, because I think we could hit that within the end of the month. And yeah, that's all I have to say. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.